Hello, and welcome to day 5 of Advent of Cyber. Today's challenge is called He Knows When You're Awake. So let's go over the try hacker me and let's get started. Elf McSkitty asked Elf Recon McRed to search for any backdoor that the Bandit Yeti APT might have installed. If any such backdoor is found, we would learn that the bad guys might be using it to access systems on Santa's networks. So the learning outcomes for this challenge are that you'll learn about common remote access services, recognize a listening VNC port on a port scan, use a tool to find the VNC's server password, and connect to the VNC server using a VNC client. So remote access services. You can easily control your computer system using the attached keyboard and mouse when you're at your computer. How can we manage a computer system that is physically in a different place? The computer might be in a separate room, building, or country. The need for remote administration of computer systems led to the development of various software packages and protocols. 3 examples are SSH, RDP, and VNC. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It was initially used in Unix-like systems for remote login. It provides the user with a command line interface that can be used to execute commands. RDP stands for Remote Desktop Protocol, also known as Remote Desktop Connection (RDC) or simply Remote Desktop (RD). It provides a graphical user interface (GUI) to access a Microsoft Windows system. When using Remote Desktop, the user can see the desktop and use the keyboard and mouse as if sitting at the computer. VNC stands for Virtual Network Computing. It provides access to a graphical interface which allows the user to view the desktop and optionally control the mouse and keyboard. VNC is available for any system with a graphical interface, including Microsoft Windows, Linux, and even macOS, Android, and Raspberry Pi. Based on our system's needs, we can select one of these tools to control a remote computer. However, for security purposes, we need to think about how we can prove our identity to the remote server. Authentication. Authentication refers to a process where a system validates your identity. The process starts with the user claiming a specific unique identity, such as claiming to be the owner of a particular username. Furthermore, the user needs to prove the identity. This process is usually achieved by one or more of the following. Something you know refers in general to something you can memorize, such as a password or a PIN. Something you have refers to something you own, hardware or software such as a security key, a mobile phone, or a key file. The security token is a physical device that displays a number that changes periodically. Something you are refers to biometric authentication, such as when using a fingerprint reader or retina scanner. For remote access services, we usually use passwords or private key files for authentication. Using a password is the default method for authentication and requires the least amount of steps to set up. Fortunately, passwords are prone to a myriad of attacks. Passwords are the most commonly used authentication method. Unfortunately, they are exposed to a variety of attacks. Some attacks don't require any technical skills, such as shoulder surfing or password guessing. Other attacks require the use of automated tools. So shoulder surfing is simply looking over the victim's shoulder, which might reveal the pattern they used to unlock the phone or the PIN code to use the ATM. This attack requires the least technical knowledge. Password guessing without proper cybersecurity awareness. Some users might be inclined to use personal details such as a birth date or daughter's name, as these are easiest to remember. Guessing the password of such users requires some knowledge of the target's personal details. Their birth year might end up as the ATM PIN code. Dictionary attack. This approach expands on password guessing and attempts to include all valid words in a dictionary or word list. Brute force attack. This attack is the most exhaustive and time-consuming, where an attacker can try all possible character combinations. Over time, hackers have compiled one list after another of passwords leaked from data breaches. One example is Rocky's list of breached passwords, which you can find on the attack box. The choice of the word list should depend on your knowledge of the target. For instance, a French user might use a French word instead of an English one. Consequently, a French word list might be more promising. Rocky's word list contains more than 14 million unique passwords. Even if you want to try the top 5%, that's still more than 500,000. We need to find an automated way. So, hacking an authentication service. To start the attack box and the attached virtual machine, click the Start Attack Box button and click on Start Machine. Please give it a minute. So, I started the machine, but I'll now start the attack box. So it turns out that I'd used up all my attack box time, so instead had installed Kali Linux in WSL. So let's get started. We open up the terminal and use nmap to scan the target machine IP address. So we can do nmap-ss 10.10.225.33. After doing that, we can see that SSH is open on port 22 and VNC is open on port 5900. So if we carry on, we want an automated way to try common passwords or the entries from a word list. Here comes THC Hydra. supports many protocols including SSH, VNC, FTP, POP3, etc. So if you want to use Hydra, the command is hydra-username-p for the wordlist.txt, then you servant and service. So if we were to use this against attack box, it would be hydra-l mark-p user share wordlist rocky.txt, then 10.10.225.33, and the protocol we need to use is SSH, so let's run that. So that previous Hydra command was taking a while, so decided to look at what the questions were. So it wants us to find the password for VNC. So what we can do is hydra-p the word list and then search specifically for VNC. Okay, so after running it for quite a while, we've now finally found the password here, which is 1Q2W3E4R. To get all this output, I had to change the command being ran, which you can see here. Actually, let me just clear the screen and then do it. So it was the same hydra-p, the word list, IP address VNC. I then did -T16 to increase the amount of tasks running to do the attempts. -V for to show which passwords are being tested, and then -F stops it running when a password is found. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is connect to the target using VNC. If you're using the Linux attack box, it will have a program called Ramina, but as I don't have access to the attack box, I'm going to be doing it through Windows using a program called VNC Viewer. So the way you connect is by typing the IP address of the target. Then we'll ask for the password, which was 1Q2W3E4R. We're now connected, and we can see on the desktop at the bottom here we have the key we're looking for. So go back into TryHackMe and we'll type in THM curly brace I see your screen, and we will submit. So if you're wanting to learn more about the things that are taught in this challenge, there are several rooms that you can go through to further learn more, but we won't, so we will now complete. And that is day 5 of Advent of Cyber completed. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see me complete more Advent of Cyber 2022 challenges.